Back in 2020, in the depths of the COVID-19 pandemic, Belarus had a presidential election. The result of the election was that Alexander Lukashenko would be re-elected for a sixth term as president of the country. Much of the world, and even much of Belarus itself, saw the election results as fraudulent, and this would see the largest anti-government protests in the history of Belarus. All of this would lead to many Belarusians leaving the country.
For the past months, ever more people have been fleeing the country. They head to neighbouring Lithuania, an EU member and southernmost of the three Baltic republics.
In fact, according to a survey conducted by the Eastern Europe Study Center, or EESC, 86% of respondents in Lithuania said that they left Belarus for political reasons, and a feeling of deep insecurity of staying in their home country. Many also said that it was because of economic and job-related issues. The EESC says that around 40,000 Belarusian citizens were estimated to be in Lithuania as of November 2022. Two of those 40,000 are YouTuber Yulia Meleshina and her husband. Yulia and I collaborated on a video a few weeks ago where I discussed my favorite places in Vilnius on her channel. I'll leave a link to that in the description of this video if you want to check it out. Well, I recently had a chance to sit down and speak with Yulia about her experience and what life has been like for her living in Vilnius. All of the footage you'll see is from her YouTube channel, which again I'll link to in the description.
So although I'm originally from Belarus, I moved to Lithuania in 2020 after the presidential elections in our country went wrong. So as you may know, many Belarusians left their home country in 2020 for political reasons, and I was no exception. So my husband and I eventually came to the realization that staying in Belarus was too much of a threat to our safety. So we made the difficult decision to move. And despite all challenges, we knew that it was a right decision and the right choice for our well-being and future. So we moved to Lithuania in October 2020, and given the escalating situation, my husband and I have determined that it's unsafe for us to return to our home country, unfortunately, and nevertheless, we hope that one day we can do it safely.
And so, of the countries that Yulia and her husband could have relocated to, why did they specifically choose Lithuania?
The reason we ended up moving to Lithuania was due to the fact that we had more opportunities to legal immigration here compared to other countries. So ultimately, I was able to obtain my first residence permit as a university student. And additionally, Lithuania also shares a similar cultural and historical background with Belarus. So it makes living here a comfortable experience, I would say.
Again, Yulia isn't alone in her thinking. For the reasons for choosing Lithuania and Poland as host countries, respondents to that EESC survey mentioned the possibility of obtaining documents for legalization, but a few other things were mentioned too, including a closeness of culture, absence of a language barrier, and also the personal experience visiting the countries in the past. So, how has Lithuania been so far? This is what Yulia had to say about that.
Lithuania has been a welcoming place for Belarusian immigrants. I have noticed that many Lithuanians have a deep understanding of our situation, and they were incredibly kind and supportive towards us, for which I'm actually truly grateful. Vilnius is truly one of my favorite cities in the world, and I find it hard to express in words just how much I love it. And one of my favorite things to do in Vilnius is to walk through the old town streets, and I never get tired of it.
In my own experience of making videos talking about Lithuanian culture and language, it was really clear to me that there are some Lithuanians, or many Lithuanians, who are very against speaking Russian, even if they do know how to speak the language themselves. Some don't like it because it's the quote-unquote language of the occupier, while some take issue with the fact that a large portion of the Russians living in Lithuania haven't bothered to learn the language of the country they live in, despite spending most or all of their lives here. And so, because Yulia is Belarusian and produces YouTube videos in the Russian language, I just had to ask her about this ongoing tension of languages in Lithuania. And here's what she had to say about that.
We see these comments not only on my YouTube channel, but also in real life or in other social medias. I mean, I had concerns about this, and for some people, I switched to Belarusian language. I don't know, because it felt more comfortable to speak Belarusian with them. But in Lithuania, there is also a sensitive language issue with Lithuanian language. So, like, if I live in Lithuania, I have to learn Lithuanian language also. And I've noticed from comments on my videos and on other immigrants' videos that people can be quite protective of their culture and their language. So I learned Lithuanian language to a basic level since I lived here for more than 2 years. And usually I try to use Lithuanian language when I go to the grocery store or just dining out. I always make an effort to speak in Lithuanian, but it's not always easy. Not only because the language is hard to learn, but Vilnius is a multicultural and a multinational city compared to other places in Lithuania. And in business customer interactions, people often try to accommodate you by speaking Russian or English, which can make it difficult to practice speaking Lithuanian. And sometimes I just want to improve my language skills, but people tend to switch to a more comfortable language when they hear mistakes or accent. So while I do my best to speak Lithuanian in my usual life, sometimes I end up speaking Russian or English. Lithuanians are generally pleased to see me making an effort to speak their language, and even if I make mistakes or have an accent, they often smile at me in encouraging way, I would say, which is lovely. So, however, for more complex conversations, I do switch to English or Russian just because I'm lacking of skills in Lithuanian. I did have concerns about speaking Russian since the war started, but I came to one conclusion that eventually language is a tool and not a political choice.
Language is a tool and not a political statement. I really like this concept, especially in the context of her own YouTube channel. Because of Yulia's channel, more people are able to learn more about the world, including about Vilnius and Lithuania. Can language be used to isolate and increase division? Of course it can. But it can also be used to build bridges to different cultures and share ideas. And that's what I think Yulia's channel is all about. And as she mentioned in the interview, she took the time and effort to learn Lithuanian and use the language when she's in the city.
Vilnius 700 metų jaunas.
No doubt, she's achieved a lot more with the Lithuanian language than I have in my time here. So I'll wrap up this video by saying that if you do understand Russian and want to learn more about Yulia's experiences in Lithuania, you should definitely check out her channel. She looks at different events and tourist attractions, but also looks at the costs of living in Vilnius. It's not all about Lithuania, but a lot of it is, with a lot of other content focused on travel. Now, if you don't understand Russian, you can still check out her videos and turn on the auto-translated subtitles too. So I hope you enjoyed this video and learning about Yulia's journey from Belarus to Lithuania. In honor of my special guest, who comes from neighboring Belarus, the word of the day will be kaimynas, or kaimynė, which means neighbor in Lithuanian. Kaimynas is the masculine form for male neighbor, while kaimynė is the feminine form. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.